Hi, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Casey.
Welcome to our farmstead, Cornucopia Orchards.
Fall is really settling in.
A little warmer than usual,
Still dry for now, but we know the weather will turn soon.
so we're hustling to get to the roof on the house.
As well as button up outside chores for the farm and yard.
And maybe have a little fun along the way in this beautiful autumn weather. Make sure you do your stretches, get all limber. Oh, hold on 1 second. There is something we should probably do.
Clark's running away from him saying, Damien's chasing me.
Hey, they chased each other with those balls for quite a while.
Yeah.
You just need two big gladiator balls and just let them beat each other for a while.
Yeah. Not a bad idea. Get out all their aggression.
Try
Without
it.
using sticks. Okay. So what do we do if
It falls?
it's not doing well?
We slowly let it come back down. We do have blocks that theoretically can catch it.
Okay.
We will communicate in the event of a colossal failure,
Get
and
out
the
of the way.
fastest man gets out of the way first.
Okay.
Slow down, Ben.
He was faster than Casey and Daddy.
Remember, Casey, you're not playing against
Oh,
this.
okay. Sorry.
Just let it ease into position. Benny, are we close?
Yeah, we should be there.
Okay. That actually looks pretty good. I might have to come out just a hair on Ben's side, but ain't much.
It does not come. It's awesome. Give me your tail.
What? I'm going to attack your side down and come back to the middle. I think you're all the way out where you should be.
Yeah.
In the middle, it looks like it could use. That's perfect. So October can be that way here in the valley, but we just have a thick fog and it is not that cold. So I sweated right through that shirt so fast with the pants and the shirt long sleeve on. So switched to more summer gear. It doesn't look like you should, but sometimes it's that way. So we're gonna get this wall put up today, hopefully. I'll at least get it framed and built. I'd love to be able to get that one framed and built and stood, and then this other wall, the short wall over the kitchen, get that one stood up. This one, same as the last wall, the first sheet gets omitted because it butts up against this wall. In order to just nail it and stand, we have to. I was moving pretty fast on prepping for this wall, and just when you really start to get in the groove though, isn't it funny how there's always something that pops up and catches you off guard? So just discovered a little situation here. Very excited about this. So this glulam beam here is supposed to fit a window that goes right here from a 4x6 jack, 4x6 jack with a king regular stud. And it's heavy duty because there's a beam overhead that's going on top of the header. So this is what was in the beam calcs. The lumber company sent me exactly what it said, plus a 1/2 inch, 3 foot and a 1/2 inch. These are 3-foot windows. So I had a call in to the engineer on the support group, and I have this leftover 11-inch by 3.5-inch LVL beam, and I'm pretty sure that what they're going to say is, yeah, you can go ahead and use that. Should be hearing back from them shortly, but we're going to go ahead and plan on that. And I'd like to get going on this. I'm not waiting to order another one of these glulam beams. So with this being a larger size, LVLs are fairly similar. They have different stress patterns than glue laminated beams do. We're going to cross our fingers. So the engineer got back to me and we are good to go. This guy will work and it will suffice just fine. So I'm going to be cutting out, this was going to be the top plate if it were the same size as the 4x10. I was going to just basically lower the window by an imperceptible 1/2 inch. But this is 11 plus, so we're going to go ahead and just take advantage of the fact that since that's 9.5 inches and this is 11, that's the same as a 1x or 2x material. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out that section from the top plate, and then the crown plate will still join the wall together, and we'll go from there. All right, so there's a joint here. I'll try and control that. Okay, you have a funny spot there. You see that? Those are the only 2 nails holding it to that post until I get to the other side. But it is held in the top. So just don't leave on necessarily the wrong spot. Casey, you might need to either work right there or work in the window.
Or wait until I get it up a little higher.
I mean, that might be your...
Oh, crap!
No, it's sliding. It's sliding.
And I'm not going to be able to pick it up from here.
Oh, I'm not either.
Okay.
Well,
I don't think.
mine is more, I have to have it higher to be able to grab it underneath the
Ben, do you want to swap me?
It will be the same problem. I'm not sure you can actually grab it
I'm gonna
this
go
much.
hip.
Let's put it down, and then Ben, let's swap. I did it that one time.
Okay.
Well, if we wanted, we could have Mom come and stand there. Benny, you take here. Casey and I take the 2 windows. I think
What
with
are we
that.
going to do with the kids?
So sit right there.
That would work.
It might.
Kids.
Might for a minute.
Okay. Want me over here then?
And then as we come up, Benny, if you want to slide my way to help support me when I get it to a part where it's harder for me.
Okay.
All right, Benny, slide. Benny, slide. All right. All right.
We're good. I got your wrist.
What a friendly little wall.
It slid out. Is it out on your side now?
Wait, stop, Casey.
Hey, can you guys hold it for a second?
Yes.
I go bam bam. You hold, I bam.
Okay, now.
I bam. You ready? Good. I'm good on this side. How much are you missing? 8. All right.
Quick. Stop. Running up your pants.
Let me hit this outside real quick, Dad.
Friendly. Oh, damn, we would step on it.
Oh, yeah.
Nail. Found the nail. There you.
Oh, nail.
Oh, it's a sharp one. You can use the hard hammer for that. Here, Mommy's got a hard hammer. You bam it with that. You got it?
Can you do it? I'll take a turn with the blue one.
Oh. Ah! Help! Help! Just don't blow your grandma away.
Damien, don't hit the truck, please.
I'm trying to get those wheels.
So the boys are helping me. Today we're gonna take some time on Dad Day to try and get this area here, basically down to next to the house and up through here, prepped. Between today and tomorrow probably we may have to do some tilling down here because it's hard pan. It was scraped instead of spread. And we're gonna use our landscape rake to prep this soil for grass seed. Get all the big clods, get all the rocks and sticks out of here. So we're taking a quick break this morning when we have the two of us from working on the last of the exterior walls. And our intention is to kind of square away this space above the house so that we have, you know, a kind of a landscaped area. There's a couple reasons for that.
Well, first reason is the mud. In a couple of weeks, the rains are going to come back and the kids are going to turn this into one giant mud puddle play area.
Yeah.
So we'd like to get ahead of that and put some lawn in for them to play with. We're not aiming for perfection because we don't have the time or the money for perfection right now, but we would like to at least have a nice area for them to play through the rainy season.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's something where it's not that expensive for the grass seed. We did buy the cheap bag. You can get expensive, but and we know from watching other people and from our experience thus far in this build that while we might like to think that this is going to be landscape next fall or landscape in the summer next year, it might realistically not be until the year after that we even get really into the landscaping. Just going to see how everything goes, right? But this will get this controlled now, and we still have maybe a week or two of good weather, and it will germinate the grass, and then the grass can kind of come up over the next month and a half before it really gets too cold for the grass to put on much growth.
Yeah, so today we're just going to be raking everything smooth. We'll get it to where the seed has a good chance of germination, and then we're going to move this concrete pad down to where Jeremy's going to be building the porch steps so that we have a nice non-muddy thing to step on before we get into the porch.
One of the hardest things here, and one we did not anticipate, is how much of an impact not having a safe place for our young boys to play has had on them and on us. Having a nice grassy area going into next year will be more appealing and easier to maintain than mud and weeds, but more importantly, it'll be a spot for them to play close to us, where there won't be any poison oak to worry about them getting into. Throw in a fence along the driveway and a gate at the bottom, and we might be able to turn our heads for a minute before they get into big trouble. Maybe I'm dreaming, but it's worth a shot. So we've got everything raked up, seeded in and re-raked, which just makes sure that the seed has some soil below it and some soil above it, and that protects it and allows it a good bed to germinate in. And that's done here, and we also did that just along the top up here, and that will keep it from, you know, eroding away and make it less muddy through next year, really, until we're ready to be able to do the final landscaping. So now we're going to turn on the sprinklers. We have 2 sprinklers. I'm winding down the pasture sprinkler usage, so that's what this is. Very simple setup, basically just converting to a hose fitting at the bottom from NPT, the pipe thread, running up, tying it off, and converting up into the actual sprinkler assembly that I chose to use. So I can set this to how far around it's going to go. I can set it to how much it's going to spray versus how far it's going to spray. So that's really handy to have when you get these type of sprinklers. But the other thing about these is that they will accept up to 3/4 of throughput on the interior diameter. There are hoses that will deliver only a 3/8 inch amount of water by volume, 1/2 inch, a 5/8, and even a 3/4. And while this particular hose is, I think, a half, out in the pasture, we were using full 3/4 inch hoses. It allows you to put out more water faster, and these will, you know, a lot of these will be able to put out a particular amount. So I went for 3/4. Now, in theory, we're already set, so let's find out how set we actually are here. Obviously, I'm not wanting to water my house, but I do want to water all the way for what we've seeded in this whole stretch here along the road, and then up. So I'm gonna check this one first to make sure we're good. That's about right. That's gonna hit everything up to the road. So let's get the other one going. It's like we're slinging a little bit too close to the shop there, but it does have an arc that it can travel. So I'm just trying to make sure we get this stretch here, which will be kind of watering those logs a little bit. Not a big deal. Yeah, I'm gonna reset this. So they're very simple to do. So it's able to go too far that direction. So all you have to do is pull your piece in. And there's one here that's the limiter on that direction. We'll try like right. Casey we found a poison oak, so she's getting that out real quick while we're here. Watch out, my dear.
Damien. No.
The internet can be a great teacher. We've learned a lot from watching our favorite channels here and from reading articles and how-tos online. We also had a fair amount of experience from our remodeling days going into this. But there's so much that we didn't know that I couldn't cover it in a whole video. In a different life, maybe we would have led into a challenge like this with at least one of us having professional experience in one of the trades. Obviously, that's not the case. So my way of thinking is that I'm going to make mistakes, a lot of them. I'm going to try and learn from each one of them, and if it is something where I have another opportunity to do better, then the next time I'll apply what I've learned and try it a bit different. So many people frame walls, and they all seem to start somewhere different. I've done enough window frames now on this house that I think I might have found my way. So that was close. That was almost the way that I think I would do these windows, where to have a finalized method of doing windows by the time I'm done with this house, naturally. I think hitting the sill first into the two trimmers, and then making sure you're lined up, maybe get your header nailed in all the way on the top, right where it's supposed to be. Go back then and nail in your king studs to the trimmers, nail in the king studs to the header and to the top plate, and then nail all the way down, nail in at the base, and then just put in your any cripples below the window. Those are just a measure and cut after the fact. They're all going to be about 21.5, because I did mark off where that sill was going to go this time to install that in first. So I'm squaring up this wall, and the outside rim joist out here has a little bit of bow to it, and that did carry through into that wall. In order to get this wall straight, what I need to do is I need to find a line, and I need to follow that line. So this wall here is very close to straight, so I've butted up against it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by taking my on center, and we started from the outside. I already mentioned that. So this is the first one we're going to have. Obviously I couldn't run a full sheet anyway, because the wall that is next to it is already up. And so we're going to start right here, and I'm just going to nail down, and I've measured up to where the sheet that's going to go in, that's going to strap all the way around the house, but that will bridge the floors horizontal. I've measured up to where that will just miss that, and mark that off all the way across. And that's how I know that we're so far off square, because when you lay out your sheets, it jogs from one to the next to the next. So to fix it, I'm going to put in the first sheet on one end, and then I'm going to make it where it needs to be by the time it gets to the other end. And if we do that with every sheet, we'll continue to correct that until we're down to the end, and then we can come back and we can toenail this whole thing in, and should stand perfectly the way it's supposed to, and be, plumb and true. So let's give this a try and see. If not, then maybe I'll get help later.
Want to start at the ends where we can get a good grip, and then work our way inward?
That's probably the smart thing to do. So you want to take the far end there. This side being free, I'm going to nail it first.
Yeah.
And then it needs to go out along a fair amount of the bottom, I think. So that's about perfect right here, though. Same with the other wall. So with this wall done, this is the last upper exterior wall on the second floor. That means that we can now run the other interior wall that matches the center one here, creates the hallway between all the bedrooms and the bathroom and the stairway up to the bonus area, and also is the center point for carrying the next floor's beams. So if I get that up, then I can potentially get the beams up today as well with help from my family. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.